Imagine waking up to find the Cardano universe has quietly stitched itself into Bitcoin's ironclad security blanket, and the zipper is something called Midnight. Sounds pretty wild, right? Well, hang on, because by the end of this story, you're going to see why Charles Hoskinson just called Midnight the biggest economic event in Cardano history, and why I nearly spilled my coffee when I ran the numbers on the airdrop math. Okay, now this might just shock you, but I am not a financial advisor and nothing in this video is financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and you could lose all the money that you invest. You should always do your own research and consult a qualified professional. As always, your investments are entirely your responsibility and you should know that nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to investing. Neither I, this channel, nor YouTube are liable for any losses, and this video today is just for entertainment and educational purposes only. Okay, so seatbelts on, picture me late last night, right? I'm doom scrolling, trying to avoid yet another cat meme when Hoskinson pops up live saying that Midnight plus Bitcoin plus Cardano could actually fix the financial system's ugliest headaches. Now, my history nerd brain immediately kind of flashes to Julius Caesar, shaking hands with Pompey and, Crassus. But instead of running Rome, the trio actually might just rewrite how money moves across the chains. Now, let me kind of zoom out, right? The problem that we've all been kind of wrestling with is actually quite simple. Crypto's living in a multiverse with broken portals, right? Move assets from one chain to another and you'll either end up paying a ransom in gas or crossing your fingers that a shady bridge doesn't collapse mid-crossing. Now, I've lost more hair than Ethereum's burned ETH just worrying about it. But Midnight's answer is almost cheeky, right? Sure, you can already do kind of taproot style hops and with kind of fancy snarks, but if you're kind of high fees and glacial finality, sure, but you can actually let your, or at least our new operator layer, bundle that mess and hand it to you in under a minute for coffee money fees. Now hold up, operators? Let's think of them as kind of concierge desks staff in a 5-star hotel for transactions. Anyone can of course be that concierge. All you need is a full node or even a light client plus, the Fairgate stack. Fairgate, by the way, is basically Hydra meets Lightning at a hackathon, right? Spike energy drinks included. Now, they're kind of wiring in kind of Black Frost APIs, Thundercloud gossip, and even a future-proof BitVMX twist so that Bitcoin scripts graduate to, risk V and zero knowledge caps. And translation is quite simple. It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's still bulletproof. And here is where I had to do a double take. Now, Hoskinson says that if BlackRock wants to shift a, casual 100 million, they'll choose the Bitcoin secure lane. So imagine Larry Fink in a kind of suit pressing the Midnight Express button like it's an elevator to liquidity heaven. Now, for us mere mortals, we kind of pick the lower security, ultra fast lane for buying Friday night pizza with Ada. It's the same rails, two different speed limits then, right? Users are in control, kind of like choosing between economy and first class on the same flight, except nobody kind of drapes a curtain in your face. Now it's stats time because numbers keep us all honest, right? Now, an internal Fairgate benchmark kind of shows sub 60-second settlement on cross-chain swaps under $1,000 with fees at under a cent. Now that kind of blows ETH layer 2 averages out of the water and leaves the old Cardano mainnet fee table eating dust. So for heavyweight transfers, think tens of millions, they clock Bitcoin level finality in under 10 minutes, but without the kind of sweat included bridge risk. Now that's not hype, that's just an audit log staring you down. But wait, the story just gets juicier, right? Midnight isn't just Rails, right? It's actually dropping its very own token. And Hoskinson basically yelled, it's the largest airdrop that any blockchain has ever done for Cardano holders. Now you can cue my jaw hitting the desk. And if you're already kind of staking and stacking ADA, well, you're in the VIP line. Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, and even XRP's ledger, get crumbs too. But Hoskinson flat out said that Cardano wallets snag the lion's share. Now, the Midnight Foundation runs the token generation event this month, and marketing is revving like a track-ready Lambo. Tokenomics, infographics, explainer TikToks, the whole circus. Now, I have to say, I caught myself daydreaming about that airdrop windfall, right? That's when I kind of remembered my own rule. Always verify. So I ran back to the napkin. Oh, I ran back of the napkin math, let's be honest. And let's just assume that Midnight's airdrop 10% of the supply and Cardano wallets snag 70% of that. Now, if supply launches at a modest, let's say 50-cent valuation, every 1,000 ADA that you hold could be like finding an extra coffee-stained $20 bill in your jeans. Now you can extrapolate that, and yeah, you can see why folks are buzzing. Of course, market forces can swing harder than a toddler on a sugar hype, so grain of salt, people, grain of salt. I want to sprinkle in some personal kind of hiccup that nearly scared me off the whole interoperability years ago. Back in 2021, I tried to bridge some ETH to a new DeFi farm on an obscure chain. Gas hit triple digits, the bridge stalled, and by the time that it cleared, 36 agonizing hours later, the farm APY had crashed. Now, Midnight's operator model wouldn't have done that run, or at least would have done that run in seconds, or at worst, minutes, with fees so low that my wallet wouldn't have cried. Now, that's the kind of real-world pain that this is looking to actually kill. Now, of course, none of this works in a vacuum, right? And Hoskinson's quietly dropped that Frankel Templeton is sniffing around. Now, those guys, of course, manage over $1.5 trillion, right? Now, let's just say they've known Charles for years, and while their core interests align with the Cardano Foundation, Charles hinted that they're eyeing Midnight too. So if that conversation turns into a pilot program, you could be watching the first traditional asset whale test crypto's new bullet train rails. So picture Templeton moving tokenized treasuries through Midnight's Bitcoin secured corridor. That's the sort of headline that lights up CNBC tickers and sends Reddit into meme overdrive. Okay, so let me slide in a friendly plug. If you want to keep tabs on the whole Midnight saga in real time, pop into our free educational Discord server. The link is relaxing in the description below. The crew in there breaks down every AMA, white paper draft, and testnet glitch like detectives at a crime scene, minus, of course, all the yellow tape. And hey, if you're hunting for a place to actually trade some ADA, or maybe even stack sats ahead of Midnight Mania, well, you want to check out the Blofin crypto exchange. Full disclosure, of course, the link is in the description, is an affiliate link that supports the channel here and keeps the lights on in my kind of nerd cave. Now, Blofin's low fee structure has saved me enough to buy extra latte each week. Plus, they let you kind of set crazy tight stop losses so that you don't wake up to a chart gone ugly situation. Okay, so back to the saga, right? The tech stack under Midnight is basically a Swiss Army knife, right? You got MPC for collaborative privacy, multi-sig for team level control, and trusted hardware enclaves so regulators don't hive, or at least get hives over data leaks. You combine all of that with Hydra heads, parallel processing channels on Cardano, and Thundercloud's network relay magic, and you're staring at legacy so low, or let's just say latency so low, that you would actually think packets grew wings. But it's a big but. Every good story, it needs a climax, right? Now, mine came when Hoskinson compared Midnight's operator economy to early Bitcoin mining. Now, remember when you could mine BTC on a laptop and pizza would still cost just 10,000 coins? Crazy, right? But Midnight's run a node, earn fees pitch kind of feels like deja vu with better UI. Anyone spinning up an operator, or at least as an operator, can choose fee schedules, aggregate transactions, and even auction block space. Just imagine DeFi degens bidding for sub-second swaps the way that traders bid for options on the CME, right? Fee markets 2.0, baby. And then there's BitVMX. If you haven't heard, it's basically a way to load, arbitrary kind of logic onto Bitcoin without, peeling open a, sacred script envelope. Now, Midnight will, of course, leverage BitVMX to translate, RISC-V instructions or RISC-V instructions into Bitcoin script. So you can plus zero knowledge proofs as well. And that kind of means the long-term security rests on the mother chain hash power. And while giving smart contracts flexibility, of course. So yes, your yield farms and NFTs can piggyback on Satoshi's decade-hardened security muscle. So talk about having your cake and locking it up too. Okay, let me drop one final anecdote. Now, a buddy of mine, let's call him Dan, right? He runs a small payments app for gig workers in Southeast Asia. Now, he's been stuck on high fee corridors for years. Last week, he DM'd me, dude, Midnight's operator model might finally make me pay riders in their local tokens without touching 5% in bridge tax. Now that's ground level impact, right? Not just kind of hedge fund fireworks or DeFi ninjas. It's real people sending lunch money home faster and cheaper. Okay, so we've traveled from Roman history metaphors to trillion-dollar asset managers, from cross-border or cross-chain heartbreak all the way to airdrop daydreams. So what is the key takeaway here? Well, Midnight, it isn't just another alt, chain and clout kind of chase. It's actually a gear upgrade for Cardano, Bitcoin, and everyone fed up with financial duct tape. If it delivers, and it's a big if, Hoskinson's largest economic event, Line might actually prove less hype and more hindsight understatement. And as we kind of wind down, let's remember the kind of snag that Discord link, if you're hungry for deeper dives, right? And of course, check out Blofin with the affiliate link if you want to gear up for whatever airdrop chaos hits next month.